Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, once again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Well, here I am back again. This is Sunday morning, and it's a little surprising, in fact, because maybe about 2 a.m. this morning, I was doing a presentation because the Spirit was running around giving boy stuff to say. And I shared it with you on a subject matter that was entitled, Loving God is Like Making Love. And I'm using an analogy there that most of us are familiar with, and it might be simple to understand. Now, today I was in there preparing some oatmeal. My sweet, wonderful wife had just prepared some. I had no idea I was eating oatmeal this morning, but I decided to just test it out a little bit. Put a little butter, a little milk, and a little salt in it, and the raisins, and the thing was absolutely beautiful. A little simple stuff. So I found myself with a great big bowl of it. Anyway, I'm constantly trying to present in some kind of way that you can understand that there is something called the wonderful life, where things are beautiful. Beautiful. Let me see if I can choose a word that we can understand. It's like heavenly. And that's so wonderful to me till I dream about it. I think about it all day long, and any little thing can just set me off, and I just want to come and shout it with you just for the, chance you might be just as excited about it too. Anyway, I'm constantly saying about that. If you don't know, check out some of the other videos and it will be made clear. But I'm thinking to myself, the people that you're talking to, would you allow them into your heaven? I thought about that for a second. If I was at the door of heaven, if I had to have some major input onto the people who got into my heaven, who out here that you talk to, who possibly out here amongst the people that perhaps could hear anything that you say, would you allow into your heaven? I thought about that. And you know what I came up with? I say, as far as I know right now, none. He said, why you, what's wrong with that? I thought you were a loving guy. You're always talking about love. And you're talking about this wonderful, beautiful world. What's wrong? You got the gate now. Why you won't let them in? I said, well, to get into heaven, there's a certain type of representation you must bring with you. They said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, we talk about this being based upon the fact of love and compassion and seeing others as you see yourself. Have you learned the message? Have you learned the way of it? And if you have, that means, my friends, that means perfectly to me. If you want to get into this heaven, that's what you got to represent. You got to be saying in your own heart, you're not putting up with suffering of anybody, not just your own. You can use your own because that's personal. That allows you to know exactly what it's about. If you poll, you know what it's about, and you can speak for what it is. Now, there are some things that you got to represent beautifully to get up in here. Now, what would I do if I wouldn't let you into this heaven? Well, I'd let you. I'd give you a repeat. Some want to burn you in hell. I can't do that. As God, I can't do that. Now, there might be some that can do it, but as God, I couldn't burn you up in hell. So, to me, I've heard someone say, but I'll agree, that the best thing is to give you a repeat. Now, when you keep repeating, sometimes you've been in school, when you flunk, you got to repeat. Maybe you can get it the next time. And by getting it, my friends, then you are developing. You're being prepared for graduation. And when you have graduated, when you will not settle for suffering of any kind that's being made known to you, that human beings got some part in, whether in its existence or non-existence, and you know it, you're not settling for it. Come on up here. Heaven is made for you. Heaven is made for you. People are sick, and can't get health care. I mean, can't get treatment. When I say health care, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the care. And they need it, and for some reason that human beings play a part in, whether they get it or not. Oh, I'm not going for that. There's no way I want to be even associated with that. I'm ashamed to let somebody know I live in a land where that kind of treatment is going on. No, I'm not going for that. Come on up here. Heaven was made for you. Hold it, hold it, hold it. I know this is a fantastic message for some people, even if you don't want to hear it. Whatever your pains are, if they are caused by a policy or conduct of some people, and it's affecting you in such a way, and correcting it just brings you to a balance of flow to enjoy what it is made, life. Now, if you're there, come on up here. But if you not there, hey, you're loved. Nobody gonna burn you up. Some people call it reincarnation. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know anything. I'm not trying to sell any of that. Nah, not me. It's just that the love I know, the one that I talk about all the time, would rather give you a repeat. Now, if there is not a repeat, now I'm only speaking from the level of the spiritual understanding that I have. But if there's another repeat that's much greater than that, if there's another situation that's greater than that, hey, I stand with it. But one thing I do know, the love of God that's in me saying, if you coming up here, if you want to experience heaven, you got to be willing to make sure heaven exists. Heaven exists means loving. See, when I talk about, if you don't mind if I just say a little bit of this. When I talk about loving God, it's like making love. Most people, adults at least, kind of got an idea of what making love is like. And a lot of you can't be talking about using some other expressions, because you have to be about making love. Making love allows you the opportunity to fantasize. It gives you time to experience the moment and the moments. And it can take you to ecstasies that you hadn't even imagined existed. Now, the only thing that can take away from that is when you reach a point that you choose, it's a choice, to see the mountain open. And when you see the mountain open, it takes you from your fantasy. But it was great. It takes you from your fantasy. But, and I'll just pause it there for a minute. The love of God, the thing that's heaven I just got through telling you about, for those who have took the steps, known that what they did separated them from what is common and commonly accepted, made not in a positive light as far as those who are, who don't see it in a positive light, but it doesn't matter to you, because you are in a place that is love. And it allows you to stand the storms of life. It allows you to run out and run to the store and find out when you got to the store, especially if you run up on your kids and they look at each other and say, look, Dad got on 2 different kind of tennis shoes. Now, you know how that might appear, but for a free person, a person who's on the ball. Now somebody said, wait a minute now. Are you lifting yourself up? All I want to say is this, is that if I had a choice to do it another kind of way, I would. I would make sure that the struggles don't exist. I'll make sure that I'd recognize what caused them and corrected them. And while it might not present for me the true experience of it, it's like a seed that's planted into the ground. It got to break that cover, you know. But that cover was the protection for that which is going to come out forth. That's going to extend itself beyond the soil. But he couldn't have done it without that cover. But the cover, after it's done its job and the flower blooms and it does what it's supposed to do, look at what it has done. Look at what it has done. That's what life is. But you got to be in it. You can't be out of it. Come on now. I'm going to go back to what I wanted to say. Is when you're doing that, that is the ecstasy of life. That is using the receptors that God has given you to take out of nothing. Using imagination. To let the Spirit of the Almighty God create everything additional, just as He created you. Just as He created this, what we are familiar with. Now, this mighty, mighty power of something we never knew before lives in us, and we are dynamic. Why? Because we're recognizing who and what we are. And this is what's in this heaven. And you can stay. Because I started to say, I started to say, because no one will ever be able to be in there and corrupt you. But I'll say this, I don't know that. As far as I know, it wouldn't be there. But if it comes up and surprises everybody and start telling you that some of you are more special than others, and that you can deserve more than others, and that you're talking to them this way because you are some magical genius connected to the powers that we can't see, touch, or feel, and you start seeing yourselves falling apart, and the apples start, it appears as if apples that start spoiling and they stay in the basket with the rest, they start destroying everything if you don't get it out of there, right? So, I heard somewhere that happened before. I heard somewhere that there was an angel that corrupted other angels. So, I'm not going to say that even in the heaven that I was holding, there wouldn't be somebody that was willing to do that. But the point of it is, ladies and gentlemen, the whole purpose is to create and allow love to establish. Create and allow love to continue. Create and live life. There is no lying and cheating and stealing and poverty and crime and corruption and terror and war. Not on the path of life. This is all an example of the stuff. Oh yeah, let me just tell you. I was listening this morning before I opened up this to some politicians. And they were talking about trying to win an election, a particular party, trying to beat the incumbent. And they're looking for candidates who have a progressive, positive message, but not just that, but has the ability to beat the incumbent that they so resist. It makes it seem almost if they're not as concerned about your ability to produce what you're talking about, they're more concerned about you beating the incumbent, because if he continues, the pain is going to be so great. But if you just beat him, then anything you're going to do is going to be better than what he was going to do, even though you had to lose something. In other words, they're asking you to sacrifice. Now, that's a deep thing, ain't it? Because that's exactly what it is. But on this path to heaven, I'm going to tell you just like it is. I'm not going to fix it. If you see the light, you must walk according to the light. Now, if you can step down from where the light has led you to empower a lesser, if you can do that, what do you think? Now, for me, if you can do that, I thought I had it together, but as I mention it and I hear it, And I'm thinking, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? You heard the situation just described. What do you think? Wow, that is deep. This is what happens when you have compassion. When you got compassion, you just don't want to leave anything out. You want everybody to be blessed at all times, even when it seems that to go and repeat and do some stuff seems to hurt. It's like a parent who recognizes they've been trying to train their kids up in a way that they hope they won't depart from. And as soon as they walk out of the door, the influences of the environment, the influences of that which they have now have freedom to exert themselves with, have seemingly the power to maybe alter their thinking a little bit. Maybe not a big bit for some, but any bit is too big when it starts to talking about getting in life and experiencing this. That you always have to be an indication to those. So when they say you're going to step down, if what you're doing is right, you continue to stand for what's right. You continue to stand for what's right. Even if you lose, even if the people that you were trying to beat gets back in office, and you perhaps could have stepped back and kept him out, but you stood strong. Now, what's the benefit of standing strong? The benefit of standing strong is this, is that those who didn't support this way of life that time, when this incumbent who won kicked that, I mean, really do it to him so heavy this time, you standing strong as a light, the next time you're going to watch your numbers grow. Because people now realize you get the message. And it might take a couple of more times. But eventually, when people realize that there's only one, and that's what the light that has been shown, then they'll accept it. They'll be ready for heaven. But look at them in their whippings. Look at them in their whippings they had to go through. Let's say they didn't graduate. You get a repeat. Then you come back, you didn't make it. You get a repeat. And all of heaven is there just waiting for you. It's there waiting for you. It begins right here in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. When you say, I ain't going for it. That's when it begins. That's when you become the light of the world. That's when either the world wants you or they don't. Your graduation is when they say you got to go. That's your graduation right away. That's your graduation right away. You won't be dying from old age and cancer and all these other things that you die from. You'll be dying from the fact that the darkness says, we're too dark for you. You give us too much light. You're like a mouse that's in the way. We got a trap for you, and you got to go. It's just like that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just as simple as that. Now, I know you never heard it that way, but this is the day that the Lord has given. And he gave it to you for you to have another wonderful day in the walking life. I'm going to say thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. It has indeed been a wonderful pleasure. And I have been the voice that have been given to stand before you. I don't know what you're going to do with it. I tell you, somebody loves you, and they still do. Till next time, bye-bye.